American Sign Language was brought to the United States in 1816 by a man named Thomas Gallaudet. This man, Thomas, was sought out because a father was trying to find a way to communicate with his daughter who happened to have been deaf. When this language came over, it actually revolutionized America. Deaf people actually were now able to communicate with each other, and the hearing world was actually able to learn this language to communicate with them. Before this was around, sometimes every different household would have their own way of communicating with their deaf child if they had one, in order to tell them what to do or what they needed. And if families didn't have this, then the deaf child simply could not be communicated with, and they were almost outcast from their family. American Sign Language includes a lot of coordinated hand gestures and facial expressions and body movements in order to communicate with another person. Body language actually and facial expressions make up about 70% of this language. It shows the difference of when you're asking a yes or no question or making a statement. In order to do a yes or no question, you bend your body forward, tilt your head, and your eyebrows are raised towards the ceiling. In order to make a statement, your eyebrows squint together, they're lowered. So that helps to show the difference. And if you're just sitting there with a straight face trying to communicate with somebody, you could mean a yes or no question, or you could mean to be asking the person to explain something more, and that's not what your body language is getting across to this person. So today I'm going to be teaching a basic signed sentence. I'm going to be taking a phrase that is actually 10 words long and condensing it into a 5-signed sentence. So starting off, I'm going to be showing you how to sign hello, my name is, then there will be an alphabet up there so you can figure out how to do your first and last name, and then after that you will figure out how to say nice and to meet you. So to start off, simply, hello is the simplest thing in the world. All you have to do is wave. All you have to do is point to yourself. Point, not hand. That's the 2 easiest signs in the world. If you're ever talking about yourself, you just point to yourself. If you're talking about somebody else, you point to that person. Simplest thing in the world. There's no me, my's, to, or s's out there. After this, you have name, which is, you simply start with 2 fists. You extend both your middle and pointer fingers, and you tap twice, and that's name. Simple as that. So we've got hello, I, and name. After this, you continue with your name, which is out there, and when you're talking about your first name, you sign as though you're writing it. You would sign across your body, each letter out, and then when you go to do your last name, you pause to let them know that you're finishing your word, come back across your body, and sign out your last name. This shows that you're not only doing 2 things, but it's not one word mixed together, so you're not one huge name into one thing. So after this, you've got nice, which is simply flat hand out in front of you, flat hand starting down at your palm, 2 palms together, so like this, and just slide from palm to fingertips. Simple as this. After this, staying in this position, you can bring it up to 2 fists, extend your pointer fingers, and bring them to meet so that your knuckles are touching knuckles, thumbs are touching thumbs, palms are touching palms. And make sure you hold it straight up in the air, because if you hold it at the person, that means a completely different thing. It might mean that you want to kiss the person that you're actually looking at. So all together, you've got hello, my name, and I'll spell out my name is Jackiegrosth. It's nice to meet you. Now, words like is and a and to, you'll find, aren't in sentences like this because they simply do not exist in sign language. They are meaningless. You simply take I, name, your name, meet, and you, and nice. You don't use any of that. So it actually makes learning things simpler, that you don't have to worry about missing things here and there. You only learn the main signs, the main words, anything important like that. Now, sign language is also just like English. It expands, it evolves every day. Signs like telephone and internet, signs that didn't exist 5, 10, 15 years ago, they create new signs so that they develop today, which is great so that everybody can keep up to date. And not only do you have these words, but also if you live in Gates or if you live in Henrietta, you'll also find that there are differences between those two towns. M and N, for instance, in one place can be held straight out for M or N, and in other places you hold them down. So, and there are also different dialects from here and across to like Zimbabwe or England or Europe or China. There are different sign languages. That's why it's called American Sign Language and not the sign language of the world. So basically, American Sign Language is this great thing that was brought here. It created it so the deaf community is able to communicate and get their point across to not only each other, so they no longer are being excluded and left out of conversations, but it brought unity to everything. Hearing people nowadays can go out and learn the language and become interpreters, so that not only can they communicate with, let's say, if you have a deaf child or a deaf parent or a deaf relative or simply a deaf friend, but you can get paid to simply be brought in by a community like Kodak or something like that, and you'll get paid like $60 to $100 an hour just to sit there and sign. So that I find to be awesome. But yeah, how much time? Because that's kind of good.
7:24.
Alright. Hi, Professor. I'm done. Hopefully I can cut this out somehow. If not.